Hey, we're live.
Hello.
I am a little bit nervous that I'm going to mess something up here. So, this is my first time doing live reading sprints. So, you'll have to bear with me. I'm not the expert here. But welcome. So, Ashley and I have been doing a 24-hour readathon and we're wrapping it up. We've got 3 hours left to go. So, we figured we'd hop on and do some reading sprints. So, Ashley, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Ashley. My channel is Ashley's Little Library, and I like to read a lot of books. I read mostly thrillers and horrors, and I sprinkle romance in every now and again as well, but mostly the spooky stuff is my realm. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Yeah. So, like I said, we've been doing a 24-hour readathon. So, we did sprints on Ashley's channel last night if you were able to make those. If not, you can always go back and watch it. It was a super fun time. And yeah, so we've just been getting lots of reading done. I haven't done a ton of reading today, if I'm being honest, but
Me neither.
really happy to do the sprints because then I'm forced to.
Yeah,
But
my day went wayward, and I ended up doing chores and had to go to the post office and the grocery store and had to get to a tailor. It was a crazy day. So
so
happy
maybe
to
not the best
finally
day for
get more
a
reading done.
24
Yeah.
hour. Yeah, so we're ready to get some reading done. So let us know if you are out there watching what you are reading. I am reading These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. This was pitched as The Cruel Prince meets Akatar, which sounds great to me. And I'm about halfway actually, so I made a
Oh,
decent
wow.
chunk today. Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's very YA reading, so it's a pretty quick read. And overall, like the words on the pages are not super small, but so far it's pretty good. I'm definitely intrigued. It's not the best thing I've ever read, but it's definitely better than These Violent Delights, which I did not end up liking.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah,
are you reading, Ashley?
I'm in kind of the middle, a little over the middle of The Harpy by Megan Hunter. This is an ARC copy, so it always looks a little weird. But I'm 126 pages in, so I'll probably finish this one pretty quick. It's what I was reading last night. I started it about this man who cheats on his wife, and then they make a little deal that because of that, the woman is allowed to hurt him 3 times, but he doesn't know when or how. And I'm enjoying it. It's pretty good. It has a really low average rating, and a lot of people don't like it. I totally see why people don't like it. It's one of those like weird, written in vignettes, very like poetic prose type stories, but I'm really enjoying it.
That's good at least to know that you are liking it, even though there's a large group of people that don't.
Yeah, it's just one of those where I'm like, of course, this will not work for many people, but it's right in my niche of the weird, dramatic type stuff.
That seems like something that Kayla from Books and Lala would enjoy. She likes
Yeah,
the
I could
weird,
see
weird
her.
books.
Yeah, I could see her liking this one. It reminds me of like an A24 film,
Okay.
where they're just like, you're just there for the ride. You don't really know
Right.
what you're getting yourself into.
Right. You just diving in.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Kim.
Um,
Reading Psycho by Robert Bloch. I don't know that one.
no, me neither.
Hi,
Hey, Sabrina.
Sabrina. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for joining. Reading The Boy Who Sneaks in My Bedroom Window by Christy Mosley. That sounds kind of scary.
Yeah, is it scary or romantic? Or
Right.
both?
Hello, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Reading If Only I Could Tell You by Hannah Beckerman. Thanks for joining. Yay. I love sprints. They're so much fun to do. I like to buckle down and like, I have to read.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi, Kylie.
Hi,
Hey,
Lauren.
Lauren.
Ooh, reading Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. Is that the first book in the Infernal Devices?
I'm certainly not the person to ask.
Or is that, I think maybe Clockwork Angel is the first one. I don't know. I just know it's in the Infernal Devices. Still reading House of Earth and Blood. Yes, I love that one. What page are you on, Lauren? Hello. I'm so happy to find these because I need to get some reading done. Yeah, same. Reading Crescent City for the first time. A lot of people are reading that one now because of the second book being released. So that makes me very happy because I love Sarah J. Maas books. I'm reading Mindhunter. Ooh. I haven't watched the show or read the book, but I've heard nothing
It's
but
really good. I haven't read it. I have the book. Well, my mom technically has the book, and I stole it from her for like a year and a half and then never read it, so I gave it back. But yeah, the show's really good.
I've heard the show's really good. Reading Confessions.
Another Confessions.
80% in. That's pretty good chunk. Empire of the Vampire. I started that one and I was not digging it, so I stopped. But I do want to read it eventually. But I just wasn't really feeling it at the time that I picked it up. But I hope you're enjoying it. Hello. Hi, Cammie. Reading Crescent City halfway through and loving it. I love to see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking it.
Good.
We'll see how the ending goes. It might get off the wall. I feel like either something super crazy is going to happen or absolutely nothing's going to happen. And then I'm going to be like, what did I just read?
Hey, Kat. I'm reading Bunny by Mona Awad, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm also playing Animal Crossing in between. Hello, I'm reading, Interview with the Vampire. That's like a classic, isn't it?
Yep. Anne Rice.
Anne Rice. Reading some middle grade. What are you picking up, Amy? I don't read a lot of middle grade. I think I've only read like 1 or 2 middle grade books, so.
Yeah, I've read exactly 1, and I DNF'd it.
Not the audience for it.
Nope.
Oh, the book of the movie Psycho. Oh.
I didn't know that was a book.
I didn't either. It's romantic, not scary at all. Okay. Just the way it was worded. I don't know. I thought maybe I was just thinking the harpy, so it was making me think scary. Going to continue reading Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahurin. So that's Serpent and Dove, book 3, I think.
Yep.
The silver one?
Blood and Honey is 2. So,
that's right.
Yeah. I say it like I've read those books. I've read
right.
them.
I've read the first 2 though. Like I should know that, but I'm still questioning it. Okay. Lauren, I'm on page 180, so not far in relation to how long it is. Still a good chunk of the book, though. Like nearly 200 pages is like a quarter of the way-ish.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Hi, Susie in SoCal. Listening to A Curious Beginning and physically reading The Overnight Guest. Nice.
How are you liking The Overnight Guest? I just read that one. It was
Who's that by?
Not very good for me.
No.
Heather Gudenkoff. It was just not what I expected it to be. It's the one that's like about a true crime writer who's stuck in a snowstorm, and then she finds a child outside, and it's like, ooh, what's happening? But it doesn't spend a lot of time like isolated in the cabin. There's like a lot of timelines, and I was just thrown off.
Gotcha. All right. I'm currently reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I love that book. I hope that you're enjoying it. I think it's so fun. It's so well written. Such a fun one.
Hey, John.
Hi, John. How are you doing today, ladies? I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. Even though I slept last night, it wasn't a full night's sleep for me, so I'm feeling the effects of that.
Yep. Same. I had a lot of unexpected chores to run today, and that just wore me out. But
drained you.
I'm caffeinated. It'll be all right. Kim,
how are you liking Psycho? Read it last year. Connor. I'm still reading House of Sky and Breath. I'm on page 258. This is my first reading sprint. Oh, welcome. I
Welcome.
feel so honored that this is your first one. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Luckily I have Ashley here, so she can pick up some of my slack. Anybody here seen Frenchie by Leslie Connor, The Edge of In Between by Lorelei Savarin, and The Keeper of the Lost City 6, all middle grade? Nice. I think I've only heard of Keeper of the Lost City. That series I've seen before. Was reading Buddy in last night's sprint, but I'm thinking of picking up The Only Good Indians today. Keeping on that horror genre. I haven't read Only Good Indians, though, but I've heard mixed reviews for it.
I do not think you would like that one.
Me?
Yeah.
So I'll skip it then. I'm just going to take your word for it.
It's Stephen Graham Jones' full-length novels are tough to get through. He's super wordy, and it's really good writing, and it's really good horror, but you really got to be invested in it.
Because it's pretty long.
They're like regular 350-ish pages long, but like it's dense to read. And you kind of don't really know what you're reading sometimes. It's a little bit like pretentious writing, I guess you could say.
That's the same guy who wrote Night of the Mannequins, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Love is Novellas.
So
yeah.
Gotcha. Hello, Denise. I don't know what I'm reading. I think I'll go back to my physical read, The Cook. It's like a dark fable. I'm intrigued. I'm on page like 30. Oh, okay. Haven't heard of that one. The Cook. Psycho is okay. Pretty much the exact same as the movie. It's very short. Oh, 175 pages. That's a good horror length. Zodiac Academy Book 1. Yep, those are getting a lot of love.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think there's a show.
Oh, okay.
That's came out recently. Somebody's gonna have to confirm or deny that because I don't know where I'm getting my information from. Did I make it up? Who knows?
It sounds like it could be right.
Finished The Christie Affair last night. Long, slow arc, but interesting resolution and different perspective. Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, I think we are ready to dive into our first sprints, get some reading done. So I'm going to pop on some ambiance here with a 30-minute timer, we'll say. Oh, boy. I've got to figure out how to do all this.
You're doing great. Oh, someone said they saw Zodiac Academy on Book Talk. So maybe it's taking off on TikTok.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. See you all back here in 30 minutes. Welcome back. Didn't want to be super creepy, but I didn't want the alarm to go off because it always scares me. Welcome.
What a loud ding.
Right. All right. I got it. Just a second left. I got to stop it.
Is the ambient still playing?
Oh, yes, it is.
I couldn't tell if that was my AirPods.
Close. Oh, well, I got one thing right. How did everyone's reading go? I didn't keep track of where I started, so I don't know how many pages I read, but I'm still enjoying this. It's a fun time. There's not like a lot of substance to it, but it's a fun time. It's like a love triangle, like you can tell. Well, you can kind of tell from the cover. Obviously, it's going to be a love triangle. I know who I'm rooting for, and I don't think that's where the book is headed, but that's okay. It's still fun.
Yeah. Is it going to pull a Sarah J. Maas on you?
I don't know.
Love triangle.
I don't know what's going to happen. It could surprise me, but I'm rooting for someone in particular. Doesn't seem like it's going that way.
I have like 10-ish pages left of my book. This happens to me every time where I get so close. I feel the exact same way. Still enjoying it. Maybe nothing will happen at the end. Maybe something crazy will happen. I do not know.
Well, hopefully you still end up enjoying it, and those last 10 pages don't completely sway you the other way. All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Zodiac Academy. We talked about that before we went into our sprints. I thought it was a show, but maybe not. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
I'm reading Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Is this
okay? See,
some
look at the
people,
dog.
I know, so cute. Some people joined like last night's sprints as well, and so I'm still trying to be like, okay, was that the person who was reading this? Because there were a bunch of people reading like similar books.
Someone was reading Chloe Brown last night.
Right. I don't remember the dog picture though, so maybe it was somebody else.
Yeah, I feel like I would have noticed those ears.
I just realized this is a 24-hour reading sprint. That's cool. Oh, not a 24-hour long reading sprint.
That would be insane.
That would be insane. We couldn't do that. We need to sleep. But yeah, we'll be on for at least another 2 or so hours, maybe more. Who knows? But our readathon ends in like 2 hours and 14 minutes. So we're trying to cram in the last little bit of reading here. Just got here after finishing a book. Maybe I'll start a new one and join the next sprint. What did you just finish? And what is your option for what you'll pick up next?
Is that a book or a statement?
Is that a book or just like a state of mind?
Could be both.
Yeah, either way. Only 30 more pages left of Psycho, so getting close to the end. The sprints, they didn't line up the time right to let you guys finish your books. 11%. That's a good chunk. I broke into part 2 of Sky and Breath. Yay. How are you liking it, Connor? Such a gentle way of stopping the sprint. I appreciate it because I always get scared when the timer goes off. Yeah, I did a little
timers are brutal.
Tried to channel like a yoga instructor voice, like, okay, start to bring yourself back to the room. I'm loving A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Great. Oh, it's such a fun one. Heard so many great things about it. Just hit the 100-page mark. It's good. I think the first one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, is my favorite of the trilogy, but the other two are also really, really good. So I would still recommend it. I feel like you could read it as a standalone if you wanted, but it's pretty fun to read the whole thing. Got super distracted, so not much reading done. That's all right. What are you going to pick up next, Ashley? Yes, show us your stack.
I think I'm going to pick up these Silent Woods next. I was going to keep going on the novella train, but I probably won't finish a whole nother book no matter what I pick. So I was like, might as well pick something that I want to get read this month because I want to read this for Gabby's book troop book club.
How long is that one?
Pretty short. Well, I guess not super short. It's like 270 pages, but it looks small.
Yeah.
But it's under 300.
All right. Started the 6th Zodiac Academy book, got 20 pages in. 6, though. That's been like, I feel like people have just been getting into Zodiac Academy. At least I've just been starting to hear about it in the last like couple weeks, I feel like. So be on the 6th book already. That's kind of impressive.
Do you know what those books are about? I don't even know what they're...
I have no idea. You know what? I'm going to find out now. Because now I'm super curious.
I feel like in my head it sounds like a 2000s YA dystopian series, but that could be totally wrong. That's just my assumption based on the title.
Okay. You have been selected to attend Zodiac Academy, where your star sign defines your destiny. If you're one of the Fae, elemental magic is in your blood, and apparently it's in ours. As twins born in the month of Gemini, we're a rare breed, even if this Academy of Supernatural a-holes. Changelings were outlawed hundreds of years ago. It's a really long synopsis. I'm not going to read the whole thing, actually. It's like a full thing.
Oh my God.
But a full-length medium burn novel that is the first in a University Age Academy series. Expect forbidden love and bully romance with mature content suitable for upper YA readers and onwards.
What is a medium burn?
A medium burn.
Not a slow burn, a medium burn. I've never heard that.
I like that. It also says, today's horoscope, totally screwed. I kind of want to like look into this now. It sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious. I don't know about the bully romance thing for me, but I'm interested in it.
If it's done right, I could like a bully romance. Because Punk 57, right?
Yep.
If you're one of the people reading Zodiac Academy, let me know how you're liking it, because I might want to check it out. All right, Denise says, only read 10 pages. Older books are harder for me to read. I want to look up all the words I don't know. That's fair. That's how I learn new words. Looking forward to reading Good Girls Guide to Murder. It's awesome. It deserves the hype, in my opinion. 20 pages left of Little Women. These reading experiences have helped me with the final push to finish this book. Nice.
It's a big one.
It is a chunker. I finished Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. I might read Perfect on paper next. How did you like Where Dreams Descend? I hear that one gets compared to The Night Circus a lot and The Greatest Showman. So those pique my interest. On page 26 of The Only Good Indians, Ashley, I get what you mean about Stephen Graham Jones' writing.
Yeah.
It was difficult to focus because someone in my building is pounding on something.
I can relate to that.
I'm really liking it. Sarah J. Maas's writing is just so addictive. Totally agree. Totally agree. I hope that you end up loving it. I was so confused at the beginning of that book, but couldn't stop. I love the audiobook. Wait, which one?
The Only Good Indians. Yeah, I was also confused. I had to read the first chapter like 3 times before I could keep going.
That would, yeah, you're right. It's not for me. That would bother me so much. I'm just like, what's going on?
I feel like I overcomplicated it too. Like it probably shouldn't have taken me 3 times to read the first chapter, but it's just such a different style to wrap your brain around before you can get going in the book.
Listen to a couple chapters of A Curious Beginning at 54% while doing household chores. I like doing audiobooks when I do like folding laundry or doing the dishes or something. Just makes the task seem more manageable because I don't like doing chores.
Mm-hmm.
Who does, though? Def love how easy it is to read. A medium burn.
What the heck is that?
That's a good way to sell it, though. Is it slow burn? No, just a step above that. Like medium?
Medium.
It's like a medium burn.
And then imagine like a high burn. What is a high burn?
High burn, a fast burn.
Oh, fast.
High burn. All right, now I'm really intrigued. The beginning is a little hard to follow, but I really love the premise, so I'm going to push through. Just sent this book to my mom. I hope you like it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It stuck with me for sure. Nice. Apparently, it's pitched as if Voldemort ran Hogwarts, you'd get Zodiac Academy. That's great.
Interesting.
I loved Where Dreams Descend. I'm waiting for the paperback version of When Night Breaks in October. Is that the second book? When Night Breaks?
Yeah.
Makes sense. It was pretty good. Gives off Phantom of the Opera and Moulin Rouge vibes. It's a fantasy romance with a bit of mystery. I like those things. Fantasy romance, mystery.
Is that the Zodiac Academy that we're talking about?
I think that's Where Dreams Descend.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, that sounds like a very different vibe.
Yeah. We're getting very mixed signals. Right. I have a few more chapters of Mindhunter, so hopefully we'll finish tonight. Hopefully. Hello, I'll be reading more of Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm about a third of the way through and just started reading this morning. Oh, such a good one. I just got my friend Casey to read it for the first time, and I've been begging her to read it for like months now, and she picked it up and binged it all in one day. She was like, "You were right. I should have listened to you earlier." I know.
Yeah.
Good one.
That one is just so good for everyone. I feel like anyone could love that book.
Right. It's one of those like universal books.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see, I don't think I've seen a single bad review. I'd have to go out and look for somebody who didn't like it. I am loving the Zodiac Academy books. I've been reading them the past 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm already on the 6th one. It's definitely a roller coaster of a ride, but these books are super fast paced and addictive, in my opinion. I love that. I'm definitely a series binger. Like, if I read the first book and the rest of the series isn't out, I'm very disappointed. Like, I just want to keep going and stay in that story with those characters if I'm really loving it. How many books are in that, though? Isn't there a lot? Now I want to look that up, too. There's at least 6.
That's a lot.
That's quite a series. 8 primary works. So there's 7 out right now. The 8th one is coming out this December. So that's pretty good series size. I caved and bought the hardback of the sequel around 75% of For Dreams Descend. Definitely want to pick up Evelyn Hugo. Yeah, if you haven't read it yet, it's good. I've been wanting to reread it for a while, but I have to wait until the mood is right. Like, I'm in a fantasy mood now, so I got to go with that. But it's a good one. Fast-paced, not medium burn. Yeah, fast-paced, medium burn, slow burn. That's how we describe books now. If I don't hear some of you describing a book as medium burn, if it fits, missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we are ready for our next sprint. So I think I've got like about 100 pages left maybe. So I won't be able to finish it this sprint. But maybe before 7 I could finish this one.
Yeah.
All right. Alrighty. Ooh. All right. See everyone back here in 30 minutes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Give you a gentle hello.
Perfect timing with the 1 second pause every time.
Got it. And then I got the ambiance muted this time too. Oh, yes, nailing it.
Killing it.
All right. Again, I did not keep track of how many pages I read. I'm on page 350 now. I can't remember what I said when I was at the start, but I'm really liking this now.
Oh, good.
Okay. This was compared to The Cruel Prince and Akatar, like a blending of those. And I agree with that. I read a book earlier this week. Well, after I had read House of Sky and Breath, I read my book of the month pick, which was A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Goodreads literally says House of Earth and Blood meets another book. And I was reading A River Enchanted, like, not sure where they're getting that comparison from. Really, like, threw off my expectations for that book. And then I ended up not really enjoying it because I had different expectations. So I'm glad that the comparisons in this book are actually like, I agree with them. So it kind of set me up for it, for my expectations, and I think it's good. So
Nice.
How did you do?
Good. I finished The Harpy. It's super weird. The ending was super weird. It was one of those super open-ended endings, like super ambiguous. You can kind of interpret it however you want, I guess. But I think I still enjoyed it. I don't know. I was like reeling after I finished it. And I was going through Goodreads, reading at the reviews, just like, what are people saying about this? And like, I agreed with all of it, all the negative stuff and all the positive stuff. I was like, yeah, I totally see all of it. So I don't know how I feel about it, but I personally had a good time reading it. I think the writing was really good. Like, there's just some sentences that really resonated with just being a woman. I was like, oh, that was really good writing. It just like feels very realistic. It's not like weird in that something crazy is happening. It's weird in that it takes a super realistic situation, just like dives into it. So that was good. And then I started These Silent Woods. I just read the first chapter of this one and no complaints so far. 12 pages in.
12 pages. I was going to say, how long was the first chapter? Yeah, it's really hard to tell how you feel about a book, like, right off the bat like that. Well, sometimes you can. Sometimes. But yeah, usually you need to give it a little bit till you can get, like, the feel for it. So how did everyone else do in the comments here? Let's pull them up and see. Got to scroll back. They're popping in. Where did we leave off? Some of the romance in the series are definitely medium to slow burn. I think that's about Zodiac Academy, right? Which I did add to my Goodreads want to read list because I'm just curious about it. I'm curious. I finished Confessions and don't know how I feel about it. It had the potential to be a 5-star read, but I feel like it went off the rails toward the end. That's always a bummer when it's like, it feels like it's going to be 5 stars and then the ending is like, what happened there? I always find those ones hard to rate then.
That's kind of how I feel about The Harpy, is like when I started it and I was reading it and it's like, you know, she has the 3 acts to hurt her husband. So you keep like reading those and you're like, ooh, this is getting more interesting. And then the ending, I was just like, huh. Don't know what this book was doing.
Interesting. And you only had like 10 pages left.
Yeah.
Right? And then those 10 pages were like, what kind of shifted you? Do you know what you're going to rate it, or do you need to think about it?
I have no idea. It could be anywhere between a 2 to 5.
That's awesome. Could be a 2, could be a 5.
Yep.
I love that. Finished Psycho and picked up a book of short stories I have been reading from called The Halloween Store by Ronald Kelly and plan to finish that. I only have 2 short stories left. Nice. Crescent City 1 walks so Crescent City 2 could run. The angst between Bryce and Hunt is so good. Yes, I totally agree. It's great. I read 15 pages this time. Nice. When is this live show for The Silent Woods? I need to get that one read.
I don't know if she's scheduled it yet, but it's usually towards the end of the month. I know she hasn't read it yet either, at least as of like yesterday. So still have a little bit of time.
Sunday, February 27th at 11 a.m. PST. That's what it says on her Instagram. Was booked and busy.
Next weekend? Yeah.
Next Sunday. Yep. Right. 90% into Bunny by Mona Watt, and I'm really liking it. It's a weird one. It is a weird one. That is like the most common thing said about Bunny is that it's weird or it's a wild ride. Like that's how people describe it without giving too much away. Like, oh, yeah, it's weird.
Have you read All's Well, their book that just came out last year?
I haven't, no. I heard it's less weird. Still weird, but not quite to the caliber of Bunny.
It's a little more rooted in reality than Bunny, I guess, but equally as disorienting to read, I would say.
It's like about like women's pain, right?
Yeah, it's a professor who's doing Shakespeare plays with her students, and she has chronic pain. And I don't know how much to say about it and what's a spoiler or not. So I'll just leave it at that.
So just leave it at that. Yeah, I do want to pick that one up though. All right. Read 18 pages of Evelyn Hugo. Almost done with Husband Number 2 arc. Yeah, 5 more to go.
Yep.
Anyone interested in true crime, I highly recommend Mindhunter. I'm definitely going to read the next one in the series and watch the show. Awesome. That's nice that you have that.
I didn't know that was a series.
Like that. I didn't either, honestly, but read 11 pages. It's beautifully written, but it's taking me a lot longer to read than normal. Interview with a Vampire. Is it just like densely written because it's a classic? Or is it just because of the like how it's written? I guess. I'm curious. I'm gonna add that one, Carrie. Oh, Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
It's 11:30 p.m. where I live, so I'm going to bed. Thank you for the sprints. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night. More audiobook and chores until my cat came and demanded to be held in my lap. Do you have any guesses on March Book of the Month titles? We kind of talked about that a little bit last night. I have no idea. I never know what's going to be a Book of the Month selection.
Yeah, I don't know either. Some people were saying the new Simone St. James book might be an add-on, at least. It's the only one I really remember us talking about. I think there was some other kind of thriller.
The Rough Draft or something like that, the romance
Oh, yeah,
one.
The Roughest Draft. Yeah.
Roughest Draft. Mm-hmm. I kind of want maybe a thriller. I want a good thriller selection. That's what I'm feeling for next month.
Yeah, this past month's thriller selection sucked.
What was the selection this month?
The Golden Couple.
That's right.
Sarah Peckinpah
That's
book.
Right. The 4 Pete, or was it 5 Pete? Yeah, they've had a lot.
I think it's 4. Yeah, 4 Pete.
That author duo had a lot of Book of the Month ones. I still have some time then. I started it and got to page 27 and put it down. Yeah, you've got a week.
And it's short.
Yeah. On Netflix, Mindhunter is 2 seasons. Just got to page 130 for Good Girl's Guide. Now I need a snack.
Yeah, I just ordered my dinner on the way.
In the last time for it, yeah. I'm interested in Bunny, but people that love it, ratings are always different. So I'm scared I'm going to hate it. It's Denise, really one that you're either going to really like it. Yep. Or really, really not like it. I guess, you know what? It's one of those for me where I'm like, I finished it and I thought the same thing that you did now with the Harpy, where I'm like, it could be anywhere. Did I like this? Did I hate it? I don't know.
Me
say
too.
that I
That's how I
liked it
felt about
because,
Allswell too. Just all these
yeah.
like weird books. It's mostly that it's a fun time while you're reading it and you're so intrigued, and
Mhm.
then the ending is usually not super satisfying, or it doesn't help you feel like you understood what you just read. So then
Right.
you're like, was there a point to that? But
Right.
sometimes there doesn't need to be a point. Sometimes it's just about the journey, not the
Just about the
destination.
ride. Yeah. So I remember ending Bunny and just was like, I don't know what my thoughts are. I have no idea. My review was like one sentence because I
Yep.
couldn't think of anything. I'm like, just kind of need to mull this one over. And now it's been like 2 or 3 years since I've read it, and I still have no idea. I love the Mindhunter show, and I've been wanting to read the book. I'll give it a try. Only 50 pages left of The Bell Jar. Thank you for the motivation. I really needed it. Thanks for joining. I read 30 pages, and it's great because I didn't get to read anything this week. Are you liking The
That's
Bell Jar?
That's really funny because this book kind of reminds me of the Bell Jar. And that's what I was thinking as I was reading it was I was trying to think of comp titles
Oh,
and it was
really?
making me think of the Bell Jar,
Think
which
of
I
The Bell
do.
Jar?
I really like the Bell Jar, but a lot of people aren't going to like that. It's another one that's just like a weird watching a woman spiral into
Yeah, I
madness.
read it and I didn't like it, but the longer I've sat with it, I'm like, I kind of get it though. I kind of get it. But I remember finishing it and going like, what was the point of that?
When did you read it? I feel like the older I am, the more I enjoy books like that.
It was only a couple years ago that I read it. So, but yeah, like the longer I sat with it, the more I was like, I could get behind it. Yeah, it's really somber in tone and just the language she uses, it's reads pretty dense for me and there's no chapters. It just goes on and on. There's no chapters? I'm enjoying it, but
Oh, that
a
sucks.
lot, but it's heavy. I didn't know there wasn't any chapters. That is rough. What book was I just reading? The New Wilderness.
Yeah.
It has like 3 or 4 parts in it, and so there's no chapters. It's just like 100 pages in part one, and that was a
That's
struggle.
brutal. I
Yeah,
can't do
like
stuff like that without an audiobook.
I listened to the audiobook specifically because of that because it was a lot, and there was like the paragraphs. There was one paragraph that was an entire page. It was a lot, so the audiobook definitely helped with that one. Definitely read it. You get a lot more detail for Mindhunter. Trying to finish The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. It's a sad one.
Mm-hmm.
Agree. I read both Bunny and All's Well. I rated them both pretty highly, but did I totally understand what I read? Not really. Just enjoying the vibes.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, I think, with those ones. Hey, just joined.
Hello.
Hey, Lucy. Reading Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab, 90 pages to go. Nice. That's a middle grade, right? That's one of her, like the ghost. I
Mm-hmm.
think so.
City of Ghosts or
City
something.
of Ghosts. Yeah, that's one of those. I feel like I would pick that one up. I'm not a huge middle grade reader, but I feel like that would be one that I could enjoy.
Yeah, same.
Thoughts on The Golden Couple? I picked it up but haven't started it yet. I'm probably the only person who's never read the authors. I haven't read anything by them either, so.
Oh, I've only read one other thing from them. I read An Anonymous Girl, and it's very similar to the reasons that I didn't really like An Anonymous Girl. Their writing style is just really boring, and the pacing of their stories are just really boring for a thriller. They get really into the psychological aspect of things, but like you read the whole book and you feel like absolutely nothing's happening, or there's the reveals that are supposed to be these reveals, but it's just like you don't really feel much about it. I don't know. I just didn't get super engaged in that book. But if it's your first time with the authors, maybe you will like it. And then you'll like the writing style and you have 3 other books to go read from them. Or maybe 4. No, they do have 5 books now, I think. Yeah, because You Are Not Alone, I think, was their 4th book.
Okay. I think all of them were book of the month picks
Yeah,
though, right? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Do you think that's why they chose it was because it's like another by this author duo, let's just do it again? Or do you think that they were like, no, this is great, people will love this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it had to have just been because it's them. There also weren't like a ton of great thrillers that came out in February that come to mind. I know The Overnight Guest came out, but that one also was not great in my opinion. So maybe they just didn't have a lot of options.
Yeah, could be. They usually try to keep like a historical fiction or literary fiction or romance, sometimes a fantasy or science fiction. They try to keep those main genres as a pick. Ashley, how did you like The Chalk Man?
I liked it.
Is that the CJ Tudor one?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's part of a reading blog I'm doing right now, so I'll have more words to
Oh.
say when I sit on it later in the week. But yeah, it was okay. It wasn't my new favorite thriller. It was either like a 3 or a 4-star.
Okay. I have The Burning Girls on hold at my library, which I added literally right when you did that comparison video of
Mm-hmm.
Midnight Mass. Read this one, and I loved Midnight Mass, the
Yeah, The
show.
Burning
So,
Girls, very good.
and then I read the synopsis, and I was like, that makes sense because it sounds super similar to the show, but I might not have ever picked it up without that comparison. So, it is the third in the series. It's so good. That's the
That'd be
what was
Ishwab.
it? Bridge of Souls, Tower of Tunnel of something. What are they called?
City of Ghosts.
She's reading Bridge of Souls. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's mix them all the words up. I'll get one of them. City of Ghosts series is so good. I don't read a lot of middle grade, but that series I really did like. Yeah, I think I want to try to pick that one up. I like a lot of V.E. Schwab's books. I haven't read everything by her though, or by them. I've read the Shades of Magic series and Addie LaRue and the Vicious and Vengeful. That's all I've read by them.
All I've read is Addie LaRue, but I want to read them all.
I kind of like The Bell Jar, but the subject is pretty sensitive to me. I'm a depressed 23-year-old student, so some ideas were pretty triggering. Yeah, I bet that book can be really triggering.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for my bad English. I'm not a native speaker. Also, it's 1:42 a.m. where I live. I think you're doing great.
Yeah, your English is great.
Bunny was too weird for me, but I'm glad I finished it because I liked the ending. Yeah, I feel like you gotta like weird books to like Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I liked The Chalk Man, but it wasn't mind-blowing, Felt like nothing really happens most of the time.
Yes, it's one of those stories where you're following two timelines. It's a man in his present day, like a grown man, and then what happened to him as a kid with his group of friends in his town. But so much of the story is just like learning about what happened in the past. So there's not a lot happening in the present. So it feels like you're just learning things and nothing's actually happening for a long time.
Okay.
And then things happen.
Is that C.J. Tudor's first book?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. It also reads very similar to a Stephen King book, which I found to be super weird.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Are we ready for another sprint?
Oh, yeah.
I know I am. Let's do it. All right. See you all in 30 minutes. Happy reading. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. How did your reading go? I got to page 400. So I'm like,
Oh, wow.
very close to the end. So it's getting intense. I
You're
am
flying
really,
through that.
yeah. I mean, it's really quick. It's like, it's not like normal fantasy where it takes you 5 minutes to read one page. But yeah, I'm really liking it. So, and I know the second book comes out this summer sometime. So I'll definitely need to be picking that up. I really like it. How'd you do?
I ate dinner at the beginning of the sprint, so I didn't get as far. I am only like 35 pages in, so I'm still pretty much just covering what the synopsis says of this book, but it's also supposed to be really slow, so I'm not really expecting much. But I like it better than I was expecting to, because I've been hearing so many bad reviews that I was like, oh no, I'm going to hate it. I should expect nothing. And I like the writing, I like the characters, like the setup of it, like the atmosphere. There's like mystery weaved into the story because you don't really understand. Do you know what this one's about? Have I said what it's about?
Vaguely.
It's about a guy or a dad and his daughter, Cooper and Finch, who live isolated in the middle of nowhere in this cabin in the woods, and only two people know they're alive and that they're there. One of them is this guy who comes once a year to bring them supplies and food. And then the other one is this like weird, creepy neighbor who lives nearby, and like you don't know if you can trust him or not. And the story begins. The girl's like 8. They've been there like her whole life. And the story begins when the guy who brings the supplies doesn't come one year. And then that starts a spiral of events.
Okay.
But you don't know why they're there, if they're hiding from something, what the guy's story is. You know, he's like fought in wars. So I like that it's like just a mystery right now.
Yeah, start to slowly learn it as it goes. I like those too, where it like slowly reveals things and you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, let's see how everybody else is doing. I decided to read along with Ashley on these Silent Woods. Got to page 55. Wow, nice. I finished Anybody Here Seen Frenchie? I'm on page 345 of Sky and Breath. I'm at the part where they're dealing with the Underking, and I'm not quite sure what his deal is. Yeah, that part's intense too. I got my little pup here begging for attention because I've been sitting here reading this whole time. So she's like, come on, say hi. Say hello, everyone.
My dog is a huge ham for attention too. I have to leave him in another room when I'm doing live sprints or like calls for work. Just
She
hang out in
just
the
sat
bedroom.
down on the floor here and was like pawing at my knee. Like, okay, I can take a hint. You're so cute. I just joined. Going to be reading 7 Days in June. Ooh, I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, I want to read that one too.
I'm on page 112 of The Only Good Indians. I'm starting to get pulled into the story. Well, that's good. I know. I think they're talking about Ellie at least. Read 21 pages of Evelyn Hugo, currently after husband too.
Yeah, that's how you have to earmark progress in that one, which number husband you're on.
They split up the parts pretty well, the husbands. That's like that. She sits on my lap. I know. She's a pretty small dog. I mean, not like Chihuahua small, but she's a little terrier mix, so she's a good lap dog. 10 pages, almost 100 pages in now, finally. Nice. Cool. Okay, you gotta get down now. I love you. Okay.
How many pages did you say you have left of your book, Hannah?
I think about 40.
Are you going to pick something up after, or do you think it'll take a whole sprint to get through that?
I think it'll take most of the sprint to get through it. And I think, well, if because we've got like 38 minutes left until our time is done. So I kind of want to start the sprint at the 30 so that we
Round
can
it out. Yeah.
read all the way till 7 o'clock and then we can like wrap it up. So I don't know if we can talk for 8 minutes though.
Oh, we can do it.
Okay. She's so sweet. She is. She's a little ham. Went and ate dinner, but I'm back. What did you guys eat for dinner? I'm curious. Sway me.
We ordered Japanese, so I had pork katsu and some dumplings.
That sounds
scarfed it down. And then I don't know if you saw my Instagram story today, but I got crumble cookies today for the first time. Oh yeah, you did because you reacted.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about eating those cookies later tonight.
See, if you had got those earlier in the day, I might have gone. Like I went with my last 24-hour readathon. I went and got a bunch of macarons,
and then I ordered them.
Yep. And then you ordered them and then that same city that I have to go to like 45 minutes out of my way, they have a crumble cookie. So I really want to try them. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. But
I was like at least 30 minutes away to get to one. And I didn't even know it was going to be there. We were just like in a random little town because we were looking for a good tailor. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's a crumble cookies nearby. It's the time to try it.
I've never had them before, so I want to try them. Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte, she gets them all the time. And every time I'm like, that looks amazing.
I know. I was trying to hype Dylan up about it. I was like, you don't understand. These are such good cookies. And like everyone on YouTube gets these cookies. They look amazing. They changed their menu.
Yeah.
And we tried them all in the car. They were very good.
Emily said she made a cabbage, rice, and ground beef soup for my boyfriend and I. That sounds delicious. It's like a pigs in the blanket, but soup. Lauren, what all have you read this 24-hour readathon? So I started with These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, and I finished it this morning, and I didn't really like it. But then I started, I couldn't decide if I wanted to read this book, which obviously I did, but I also have A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer, which is the second book in the like A Curse So Dark and Lonely series. And I really liked the first one, but I was just really feeling this one. So I'm glad I picked it up, and I think that I could finish it. So that's like almost 900 pages, which that's pretty decent. Yeah.
I have read pretty much everything that you've seen. So these 3 books, Your Guide to Not Getting Murdered in a Quaint English Village, which is a little comic that I started with. That was a 5-star. And then Crossroads by Laurel Hightower, which is a horror novella, which was also a 5-star, which is very unusual for me to have 2 5-stars back to back. And I thought this was going to give me nightmares last night, and it did it, but it's like all I could think about all day is some of the scenes in this book have just been embedded in my brain, and it just like, oh, that one's going to stick with me for a long time.
That's how you know it's good, when your brain doesn't want to let it go after you finish it.
I can like see the scenes playing in my mind still, and I'm like, ooh, that was good. And then I read The Harpy.
After I finished House of Sky and Breath, I finished it like super late at night because I read it all in one day. I took the day off work, and then I went to bed, and I still had to go to work the next morning. But all my dreams were about like scenes of House of Sky and Breath. Like, you know, like how it's like watching a movie when you're reading. That's what my dreams were, was just replaying all of those things in my head. That's when you know it's good. I love sweets, and crumble is like too much. I get sick because I have no self-control. Eat the whole cookie. Yeah, they do look like they're really
super sweet. They're also freaking huge. They're probably like this big. I wasn't expecting them to be that big. They're very large and very sweet.
That's an intense cookie. I still want to try it though, even if it gives me a bellyache.
Yeah.
Love crumble cookies. The cookies this week were so good. So they change their menu every week?
This week there were Valentine's cookies. So there was a lot of like pink stuff. We got like
Okay.
a 4-pack to try a lot of them, and then the classic chocolate chip.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they were all good.
I definitely want to try them. Making me hungry. It's only 4-ish in Pacific time. We're going to make fish burritos. Ooh, that sounds good. Yay for 5 stars. Yeah, what a great way to start off the 24-hour readathon with 2 5 stars right away. Book hangover. Yeah, I kind of feel, well, I felt like I was in a little bit of a book hangover after House of Sky and Breath because I read A River Enchanted and I didn't really like that one. And then I read These Violent Delights and I didn't really like that one. So then I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I'm liking these Hollow Vows because I was a little worried that I was just not liking things just because I'm in a bit of a book hangover, but I'm liking something. So it's not that.
Yeah, I've been having a rough month too with just not loving a lot of what I've read. The only thing I really liked, well, I guess I've had 3 books I like. It just feels like I haven't had a ton of good ones. It Happened One Summer was good. Anatomy was good. And The Arrangement by Kirsten Moglen. Those were the good ones.
I reread a lot recently, so those are rereads are usually 5 stars for me. So, and then of course, House of Sky and Breath, which I never shut up about, but cut me some slack. It just came out this week.
I need that series to end before I even begin because I can't wait for books or I lose interest if I don't have them all.
I would suggest that if you are able to. Obviously, I can't do that, but if you're gonna try to binge the whole thing, just wait for it to wrap up because there's some cliffhangers.
Yeah, even with like A Court of Silver Flames, like I took such a pause between the other books in the series and that one, and now I've read the first 200 pages and it's just been sitting here for like 2 months, and I just have no interest to pick it back up.
I'm gonna be rereading that one this month. Maybe I'll do that next after I finish this one. I'll start my reread of A Court of Silver Flames. Just bought The Arrangement by KM. KM, what's the author?
Kirsten Moglen.
Okay.
I think she's an indie author. It seems like she has like 30 books out. She just started publishing a couple years ago and writes like crazy, but a lot of people have been talking about The Arrangement lately on BookTube. I picked it up because of Savannah from Riveting Reads. She talks about loving that one. It's really short too. It's like probably less than 200 pages or something, but it's a fun one.
Nice. I still need to start the Crescent City series. I loved ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, so I don't know why I keep pushing it off to start it. Yes, start it. It's so good. It's all the things that you love from the other 2 series, but with a modern twist to it. Because it's got like cell phones and cars and all that jazz. So it's not like straight up like high fantasy. It's got that modern element to it, but still everything you love in a Sarah J. Maas book. Started The Arrangement and it's really intriguing so far. And I didn't feel like typing out Kristen. That's fine. That's fine. I couldn't remember the name. All right. Ready for the last sprint?
It is time.
All right, let's finish this up. Let's go.
Who knows? Maybe I'll surprisingly read 180 pages in this final sprint and finish another book.
You never know. You never know. You got to have confidence. All right. See y'all in 30 minutes. Hello, everyone.
I'm getting so absorbed in this book.
Oh, yeah?
It's not intense, I guess. I don't think a lot's going to happen since people don't say that, but it's just like I'm on the edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next?
Ooh, so you're just going to keep reading then?
Yeah.
After sprints?
Yeah, I got to page 66.
Nice. Awesome. I finished. I really
Nice.
liked this. I'm really excited for the sequel. I wish it was out already because then I would go get it and start it right away because it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. So, yeah, I really liked this. I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. So, I
Good
definitely think,
comeback.
yeah, I definitely think the Cruel Prince meets ACOTAR comparison is good. So, if you like either of those, I would recommend it. And don't judge it by the beginning. So the
What is
beginning's a little rocky.
I haven't read The Cruel Prince, but I think there's a love triangle in that. What's like the influence of The Cruel Prince in the story?
The Cruel Prince is more like the influence on this one is that it's specifically set in like the fairy realm with the Seelie and the Unseelie courts because that's like a big part of this book too. So yeah, I liked it.
Well, yay. Glad you had a better read after not enjoying these violent delights.
Me too. I was really hoping that it wasn't going to be a pattern. So good. I'm glad I get to end it on a high note. All right, let's see how everybody in the comments did. Oh, Kim says, how many books are going to be in the Crescent City series? I don't know, actually. I know 3 for sure because the third one is like confirmed, and obviously it would be ridiculous to end it in the middle like that because the second book ends on a bit of a cliffhanger as well. But my guess is that there's going to be 4 books because there's 4 houses. So the first one is House of Earth and Blood. The next one's House of Sky and Breath. And then there's 2 more House of blah, blah, blah. So that's my guess, but maybe it'll only be 3. I don't know. Woo, books.
Woohoo!
Agreed.
Hello.
Hello. I like the little artwork in your picture. It's cute. Got to page 105 of These Silent Woods. Nice.
How's it going at that point? Are you as intrigued as I am? I'm currently at a store. That's all I'll say.
My children are not cooperating today. 5 pages. Hey, better than nothing. 90 pages in Rune Marks by Joanne Harris. Nice. I started The Elementals by Michael McDowell. Read the first chapter. So far, so good. Nice.
Is that a horror book? Sounds familiar.
Let us know. Took a break from reading to get chicken nuggets. For being my first reading sprint. This was really fun. Thanks for hosting. Thank you for joining. I'm glad that you had some fun. And yes, that's chicken nuggets is a good time. Reading sprints are a good time for that. Turning into productivity reading sprints, got the bathroom cleaned, and 70% into audiobook of Curious Beginning. Is A Curious Beginning, is that a Veronica Speedwell book? Is that the second one?
Oh, I don't know.
Or third?
What's the first one called? I would have guessed it was the first one since it's a beginning.
You know what? That makes sense. I don't know. I just recognize that title.
I haven't read any of those. I've just seen a lot of people talking about them.
Yeah. It's historical fiction, right?
It looks like it from
Yeah.
the cover. It looks like one of those, like ladies in a dress and
Right.
all the
That's not usually
Victorian
my thing,
things.
but hearing people talk about it and how much they love it, I really want to pick it up. Like,
I guess it has a good romance in it, I think.
I think I would like that then.
Yeah, I think that would sway you.
Yeah. I like the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. The first book was phenomenal in my opinion, and that's like a historical fiction, but the romance. That's what I liked about that one. So maybe I'll have to look into it. I mean, feel like I'm adding a bunch of books to my TBR with these reading sprints. She likes it. Classic horror.
Classic horror. I didn't know it was a classic.
It's horror set in Alabama. The first book is Curious Beginning. That makes sense. The beginning. Come on. Yeah. If I would have just used some common sense, maybe I would have figured that out, but that's too easy. Read 24 pages of Evelyn Hugo. Thank you for the sprints. Thanks for joining. Yeah, and then that's it. We wrapped up our 24-hour readathon, finishing it out. So I finished 2 books. I'm pretty proud of that because they're like I think both of them were like 440 pages. So
yeah, they were big.
Yeah,
you did a lot.
I am pretty proud of that. So thank you all so much for joining on the sprints and for not making me feel like I did a bad job, even though it was my first time.
No, you did great.
So thank you all so much for coming. Oh, you guys are the best. Awesome. All right. Make sure that you subscribe to Ashley's channel if you're not already. She puts out amazing content. And I vlogged the 24-hour readathon. I don't know if you did too, Ashley, but mine will probably no. I vlogged it, so my vlog will be coming out, I don't know, later next week sometime. So yeah, awesome. All right, thank you all so much for joining, and hopefully I'll do this again sometime. So maybe that you can join then as well. So, and thank you for Ashley for hopping on with me.
Yeah, of course.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.